Welcome to Unhinged, Unfiltered, and Unscripted. This is a impromptu, unplanned, which is the same thing as impromptu, but regardless, episode. I am calling from, not calling, I am recording this from the car as I drive home. Well, technically not exactly home. I'm driving to go pick my kids up. I had worked this morning at my sister's godmother's house. It's really a complicated relationship because so this lady is my sister's godmother. Her son was my godfather, but they're not technically related to us, and so it's a weird friendship, but regardless, she is a good family friend and she's a really nice lady. I had gone there and I was helping her clean up because that's what I do on the side of things, is I clean houses for fun because I'm weird, as well as do some graphic design stuff as well, which that's more fun. But cleaning houses kind of also pays a lot more, because I have a lot more clientele there than I do right now in the graphic world. But so anyways, going back to this lady, she's a real nice lady. Her son's a dickbag though. So my godfather is not a very nice person, and we don't talk to him anymore. And if you asked his side of the family, except for my sister's godmother and all, I'm the problem. But if you ask my side of the family, he's the problem, and it's a big mess, and it's a big stupid thing. And ironically, my ex, who happened to be my godfather's son, is married to my husband's ex-girlfriend, so it's a fun dynamic. But while I was there, I was thinking about how times are so different now than they were back then. Back then, it was 2011. I was just graduating high school. I really didn't know much. I didn't really have experienced life yet. Even though growing up and up until that point, like, I was always considered to be more mature than my age. I was considered to be more adult-like and proper. I had experienced some things that were very heavy for a 12-year-old, let's say, because that's when it all kind of really got to be that hard. But I still hadn't experienced life yet. I still didn't get anywhere. I didn't know anything, and it stinks to say that, but because at 18 you think you are flying high. You think that you are, king of the world. You're finally free. You're able to drive wherever, no rules. But then life hits you. It slaps you so hard in the face, because no, that's not at all how that works, or how any of that works. You have new responsibilities. You have new obligations. I don't even know. But, you realize very quickly that, staying up until 4 in the morning, partying, and then going to work at 6, it doesn't work anymore. It's not so carefree and relaxed. It's now, oh shit, I have to start acting like an adult because I could be charged as an adult. And that thought is a really, I don't want to say a humbling one, because sometimes people don't take it, but it's a really big oh fuck moment. And to be honest, I wasn't quite sure that I was going to make it to be 30. Here I am I want to say thriving. Who really does know, though? Because I don't even know. But, I'm 31, and I've lived longer than I thought I was gonna. I'm still here kicking and fighting and all of the things. One of the reasons, this podcast got started was because I had a lot of things I wanted to say or talk about, and to start sharing my journey with everybody. And for a long time, I put it off because I didn't think anybody wanted to know or hear these things. Yeah, I had a lot to offer, but oh well, it's just like anybody else's life. My life wasn't significant. But then I also kept getting people telling me that, me speaking up about this topic or me talking out about this really helped them to find their voices. And that's what started. A lot of it was, I wanted to be the voice for somebody who didn't have one. Because I know growing up, I didn't have one. There was a lot of things that the moment I turned 18 and the moment that I started having to do these things, I wish I had somebody who was guiding me or who was helping me or giving any sort of advice they could to help me better understand what's to come. And yeah, I may not have gotten it, but I could do that for somebody. I could be that for somebody. And in all honesty, that's filled me with so much joy. I can't even really begin to talk, express. Which is also weird because there are days that I feel so overwhelmingly happy the way this podcast has started, how it's grown, how it's, picking up. And that makes me really happy. But there are some days that I get a little down about it. And not because I'm not happy about the success or the results. It's more so it's a lot of burden to take on, and healing from childhood trauma and trauma in general, but healing your childhood wounds and then kind of talking about it to the public, it's going to reopen things. And not that it's a problem that I talk on them. I don't mind talking. It's more, there are just days that it weighs heavily on me. And obviously that's none of, our supporters' fault or our friends' fault or any of that. It's just, sometimes you have to take that clarity to yourself, that moment of clarity to regain perspective. And I was telling this to my co-host Jen the other day that it's not so much, you can't just say, oh well, I'm going to manifest this, I'm going to just start thinking positively, or I'm going to be happy, or I'm going to start saving my money, and that's it. You can't end the sentence there. You have to think of your why. Why are you doing this? What outcome are you looking from this? How do you want things to go from here? And it's good that I have those bad days. It is. Not so much for everybody around me, but it's good that I have those days, because those days remind me that I'm still working on myself. I'm still healing, and we all will always have something to do, work on. There's always something we can change, or we need to mend or repair. So it's never just a one and done thing. You're never just, oh well, I healed from this wound, alright, well I'm done now. No, it's a continuous thing. It's something you're going to work on, maybe not every day, but it's definitely something you're going to have to always put a cautious thought to. And it's always good to think of your whys. Why am I doing this? Who is this for? Am I doing this for me, or am I doing this for somebody? And I think that's a really important thing to learn or to understand, because I know early on in my marriage, I did a lot of things for my husband because I thought he wanted those things. I thought that that's what he wanted and expected from me. And it weighed a lot on me because there were days I didn't want to do it. Or there were days I just wanted to just throw the towel in and say I'm done. Not with the marriage, just, mentally. But that's not at all what he had expected or wanted. And so here I was just thinking that, oh, well, this is what he wants. I'm just going to do it. We're not going to talk on it. No. Had we had the conversation, I would have realized early on that that's not how things work. And it probably could have prevented a lot of heartache. But those heartaches also taught me that it's important to be very, very clear on what you want, but also what you want out of something, a relationship, a friendship, a partnership, like anything that you wish to move forward with. You need to figure out what that means to you. I don't know if that entirely makes sense, but in my mind it does. But then again, my mind's a very scary place. But going back to, taking those moments of clarity. Last week, I had a really bad week. Both financially and just mentally, and the kids. And then there was the whole issue of, in a way, I had gone back on my word on a situation where I shouldn't have, but also I'm a parent, so I did the thing I shouldn't have done for the happiness of my children. But regardless of all of that, I had gone to my sister's godmother's house. I cleaned. I had gotten out a little earlier than I anticipated, and then I told my parents I was gonna. So I was debating on going, just walk around Walmart for a couple minutes, to have that moment to myself where I can walk around the store, because I also have to go to the food store. But, it wasn't, I didn't go there to look to buy things, I did, but I didn't mean to. But it was to take that moment for myself, where I didn't have the kids, where I can actually stop and look at things that I wanted to, and I didn't have to rush or worry or deal with kids crying because they're not getting something. It was just that moment of just... And I tried recording the podcast while in there, but I'm very, very, very subconscious, and I do not like when people look at me. Also, I get very distracted, so I kept going, ooh, shiny, or ooh, that's pretty, or ooh. By the way, there was a lot of cute Halloween stuff up. But that's neither here nor there. But it took me back to a level of just relief. And yeah, shortly after I had walked to my car, I immensely felt guilt because I had bought a pair of Beetlejuice sweatpants. Not that point makes a difference at all. And a thing of hair dye. Well, and floor cleaner, but the floor cleaner was needed. And I felt bad because I only have now X amount of money for food until Friday. Which, okay, yeah, it's Tuesday. It's not that bad. But, it were those things that I bought necessary? No, they were not. But I hardly ever buy things for myself. I hardly ever do anything for myself. I constantly give until the day is done, and then when I have no more to give, I just collapse. So, yeah, those things were unnecessary. But I don't know how I want to say that, but hello, Mr. Ambulance. But in a way, they kind of work. Because mental health really does... You cannot pour from an empty cup. So So no matter how you phrase it or how you look at it, if you're constantly doing things repetitively, you're going to get tired. And I know for me, it's been for instance, cleaning my house. The second I would clean one room, I would trip over one of the kids, who was making a mess in the same room that I had just cleaned. And it's like, well, why am I doing this? Why am I, putting in this effort if this is how the room will be at the end of the day, or if this is whatever. And it gets to a point where I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll clean when they leave. Meaning when they turn 18 and they move out. And I know that wasn't a proper thought. And I know that, it definitely wouldn't have been good to say, but I didn't. So I, didn't do that. But it was more so just the fact that it was just, why do I keep doing the things knowing that it's going to make me mad and upset? What is this, benefiting? And yeah, material things aren't really the way to go either. Retail therapy is probably the worst therapies that is out there. Yes, it feels great in that moment, but then, there's either some sort of guilt or some sort of regret built up after that. It's like, well, why did I do that? Why did I, waste my time or my money or my energy on something like this when it was just something that was so stupidly spur of the moment, kind of thing. And yeah, I had those thoughts, and I did, and I thought it, and I was like, you know what? Oh, I'm such a terrible person. I should have spent that money all on food. But again, I hardly ever take the time to myself. I hardly ever buy myself anything. Most of the time, it's usually free TikTok samples. But I know that there is a time and place for everything. And yeah, this probably wasn't the right time to do it. But if not now, when? And that was a saying I used to hate as a kid. I used to hate it. If not now, when? If not who? If not you, who? Because I hated it because I like to procrastinate a lot. Don't know if anybody here has noticed, but I do. And I tend to always kind of put it off until the last minute, and it's never good, and then I stress, and then whatever I'm doing either is ruined or not done properly, and it's a whole big stress thing. And I don't know why I do that, but I do. So, but if I didn't stop, and I didn't take that time for myself, and then I didn't spend the money I spent on myself, when would be the next time I'd get to do it? When would be the next time I get to leave my house to have a day like this? Probably, as far as I can see, either not until the 16th, when my children go to the in-laws for a couple days, or when they go back to school, which is September 5th. Like, that's 2 weeks away, and one's like 3 weeks away. So, that should give like some sort of indication. I don't leave very often. Therefore, I don't buy myself anything often. And who knows that, those sweatpants would be there when I come back. And then I'm like, oh, now I regret not buying them because, now they're gone and I really wanted them. And to be fair also, it's not like I went out and bought $1 million Lamborghini. It was a pair of $10 sweatpants, which I live in, like, continuously in my house. But regardless, as we're coming to a wind down on this impromptu episode, it's really important to take those time. And whether you're a mom, a dad, or whatever, even if you're moms to animals, mom to a dog, mom to a cat, so on and so forth, regardless, take those minutes to yourself. I don't care if it's going to a store and walking around. Don't listen to the people who tell you, oh, that's not, a break. That's just a chore you have to do, that you were privileged enough not to have the kids. I don't give two shits. Because guess what? I was able to do something without my kids, whom I love greatly, by the way. But I was given a break. Yeah, okay, I'm going to the chore. I'm doing a chore and not getting a massage or my nails done or my hair done or whatever. Yeah, it's a chore. But guess what? It's a chore I get to do where I don't have to continuously stop, yell at the kids, or I get to have a clear thought on things. And that's something I don't get a lot. Most of my food shopping is done online, so I don't get to go to the store very often either. And I get that it's not a vacation, and I get that it's not a break entirely. However, sometimes, depending on your situation, that's at least an effort. Your partner or your whoever is making an effort to help you so you can do something with a clear head, to breathe. Yeah, going to the food store sucks. I get it. I mean, I love, some things that you could buy in the food store, but yeah, it's not, a week in Maui. But again, it was something that someone had made an effort for and is trying to say, hey, I see you. I see you need this break. I see you need a moment to yourself, whether it's to sit in your car and cry, whatever. I see you. Here you go. Take this and go. And I know for me that is the world. So just imagine, a single mom who doesn't get that often, or a single dad who doesn't get that. And then you have to be, respectable too, because, people suck, but just try to, envision, living a life that you were constantly in, always, and you feel confined by your four walls. It's hard. It really is. But with the right people by your side, and by, doing all the things that you need to do, you not knowingly have the best support team you have. And I know it's gone slightly off point since when I started this, but it all kind of ties together in itself too, because again, I want to do that for somebody. I want to be that person and be that voice for somebody, to remind them that no, what you just did isn't shitty, or no, that break to, the laundromat by yourself, that was a moment of clarity for you. How do you feel after that? Like, how does that, and not to sound like a therapist, because I'm not one, but how does that make you feel? Because ultimately it comes down to that. What you did, how does it make you feel? Do you feel better? Do you feel worse? Do you feel trapped? Do you feel safe? And I want to do that, and that's why this podcast is, in a sense, like our baby, mine and JJ's baby. But no, it's something technically I created it first, and I started it first, but I really do not like hearing myself talk, so I struggled, which is ironically funny that I'm doing this episode by myself. But, we continued it in hopes that we could do that for somebody. And I've had a couple of people who have told me that what I'm doing, it helped them with something and to keep going. And there's been times I've wanted to stop. There's times I wanted to give it up, because I didn't think, it mattered. My story doesn't matter. I'm not helping anybody. It's just, two people talking. And sometimes it was about nothing. Sometimes it was about something. And granted, yeah, there are a lot of topics that are yet to come. Some of them are going to be really controversial. I'm one, if not my love for debate. I love debating, provided it's done in a respectable way and not, mean or harsh or whatever. But I like to push the boundaries. I like to get uncomfortable, not in a weird way, but I like to kind of poke, and not because I like other people's misery. That's not why. But I like to hear other points of views on things and to see the side of something that I may not have known, or to learn something new, or whatever it may be. I love doing it. So I love debating. Again, it has to be fair and nice, but I like to do it. But I also like to push boundaries when it comes to talking about things that are a bit unconventional, or things that are not the norm, or oh no, you can't talk about that. Well, yeah, I can. Who says I can't? You? Society? The government? Well, that's exactly why I'm doing it. Because I'm not going to sit here and let my government be controlling. I'm not going to let my government tell me I can and cannot talk about something. Because who are they? And I get it, they are obviously government. But, there's so many things that are different and wrong with this country. And I won't get into it here now because I'm at the food store, so I actually have to wrap this up. But there are so many things that are wrong that, I started realizing by homeschooling my son. With homeschooling my son, it opened my eyes to how corrupt the school systems are, how blind everybody is. Everybody rather just follow blindly to whatever than to say, no, that's not right. Oh no, that needs to change. So that is what I'm doing, and that's what I'm going to do. That's what to expect from this podcast. It's going to get weird. It's going to get uncomfortable. We're going to break some boundaries. But hopefully you guys stick around for the ride, because it's going to be interesting, not to say the least, but also because we genuinely love your support. But real quick, before I do go into the store, I will do a quick oracle pull, just so we end with some sort of normality on this episode. Can't imagine any part of my life today or any other day is normal, because it's not. Oh, son of a... I was gonna say my staple statement, but it's not nice. It's not a nice one. But holy shit, I knocked all of these off. And I'm a short person, I can't be doing it. Sorry for the voices, I have weird voices. Don't mind me. Okay, alright, got it. Oh, well, that's wonderful. So by the way, I was drawing from Mystic Red Rose as the oracle, and I carry it on me at all times. So we got the hammer, which is sabotage and rebuild, persistent, working on, and repairing, which in a sense is actually a really good card if you think about it. Yeah, sabotage is not great, but rebuilding and working on it, those are good things that are always good to do. If you wrong someone, try to work at making it better. If you broke someone's trust, try to repair it. Take accountability for your actions, and try to think from their point of view or their shoes. And then hopefully things go a lot smoother in the future. But on that note, it was lovely chatting with you. Thank you for indulging me on my small driving rant